Thanks, Anthony, for chatting me and letting me know. Okay, now that we are all here, we are going to go ahead and get started with today's lesson. So if we can all turn to page 1 of our classwork packet, let's go ahead and take 4 minutes to get into the right mindset of APGov and civil liberties versus public safety. As I said, and as I harassed, today's homework was really important. So we're going to take 4 minutes, complete the do now. Go ahead and get started. If you did not complete the homework, I just private chatted you. I want you guys to focus on getting the pre-work done so that way you can participate in discourse, and let me know once you have that completed. You have 2.5 minutes. I'll go over the answers at the end. Oh, I see what you're saying. Just for a piece of clarity, number 3 and number 2 are not related. Sorry, Lauren just pointed something out. So number 3 mentions an elite democracy. Elite democracy is not the answer for number 2. Okay, go ahead and finish up. Sorry, just working on setting up our breakout rooms for today's seminar. Great, so I'm going to go over quickly the answers. Number 1 is C. Number 2 is D. Number 3 is A. So C, D, A, check your answers. Hmm? Oh, which one was that, Lauren? Okay. The reason that why number 3 is A is because the original Constitution, senators were not directly voted on. So senators were selected from a very prestigious group. So that is why it is part A, because as we know, the elite democracy favors a certain group over one another. Any other questions? If you have any questions about those, you can throw them in the chat. Okay, so now I'm going to give us 30 seconds. Go ahead and pull up today's pre-work, the civil liberties versus public safety documents. So yeah, I'm going to give us 30 seconds to pull up those documents. Cool. So we should all have those up. So as we have been discussing this issue of civil liberties, one of the continuous debates that we've been having is, what is the relationship, what is the role between individual liberties and protecting our individual civil rights versus using those civil rights, which might cause harm or danger to another person? Like our discussion in the Second Amendment yesterday, what is more important? Protection of the whole group versus maintaining our individual rights. You guys did some pre-reading on documents that discuss this issue. That discuss this issue. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting you into a breakout room for 7 minutes. With your team members, you're going to go over each document and utilizing to page 2 of your classwork packet, determine, has the Supreme Court's interpretation of the First Amendment done more to protect civil liberties or maintain social order? So you have a chart for this set up in your class notes. Go over your interpretation and understanding of the documents. Again, you're going to have 7 minutes in your breakout rooms, and then we're going to come back together to discuss whole group. What has the Supreme Court done more? Protect civil liberties or protect social order? So you are going to get an invite into these breakout rooms in just a moment. The person whose birthday comes up next goes first. So the person whose birthday is the soonest goes first. 7 minutes in those breakout rooms. Go ahead and head on out. Zira, Jade, Adarius, Kamisha, if you guys can accept those invites. Kamisha, do you have one? Oh wait, no, you don't. Yeah, you just need to unsubmit. Ring 4. Okay, Kamisha, you should have an invite now. Discuss.
Oh. Okay, so I feel as though the Supreme Court does it mostly seeks out to protect social order, and I said that because the question is every case.
Hey Jamal, hey Anthony, hey Jade. I just have you guys in your own individual breakout rooms because I want to make sure that you guys get that work done. Once you guys turn in the pre-work, I will put you in a different breakout room.
And it says to create a clear as present danger. So
Okay, cool. I'll come back and check in 4 or 5 minutes. If one of you guys finishes way before that, a bunch of you guys have my phone numbers, so you guys can just text me. But hopefully, actually, what's going to be easiest is just being here for the next 5.5 minutes to finish the homework, and then you guys can participate in the whole group discussion.
Okay.
Freedom, individual.
Hey, Darius, are you just having some tech issues? Okay, Darius, I'm going to assign you. You should have an invitation to you have an invitation to group 1, okay? So see if you can hop in there.
No, I'm saying for that document. For that document, yes. And you said because they wanted to stop the commercial drug.
Did you just say the school's mission to not support drugs? I just appreciate that phrasing.
It's like how when we were growing up in middle school, did you guys do that one day where it was like you have to wear the red and it was like symbolism? Yeah, sort of kind of like that. Okay. Let's go to document 1. Document 1 is civil liberties. And basically the
What's my
school and the government and stuff, they can't necessarily.
Who is it?
Who is that?
Oh, because she's like, who's all these voices?
Okay, are you guys good?
Yes.
Have you guys gone through most of the documents?
Yes.
Okay, you have about 3 more minutes to finish, and then just be prepared to share out. I'm gonna call in 1 person per breakout room.
Just because the school didn't like.
Not it. It's like that.
Document 3. Okay, so that's the one with marijuana, right? Yeah. So I think that one's like social order, obviously, because the guy's like, you know what? Take a bong, gotta take a hit from the bong, right? And then they're like, oh, well, your freedom of speech is like kind of endangering everyone else's, thing, whatever their reasoning is. And then, but like, also here's the thing.
Religion couldn't be used against the Colorado Anti-Discrimination Act in order to say that this same-sex marriage cannot be served equally as the regular marriage.
How are you guys? Sorry, guys, I'm just popping in. How are you guys doing? Do you guys have any questions? Doing good. Cool.
Yeah.
You guys have just under 2 more minutes. Kezia, can you chat me your question? You guys can keep discussing. You don't have to not talk because I'm here.
For document 6, you can say that would go on the social order side because it says, in an opinion authored by Justice Edward Sanford, the court concluded that New York could prohibit advocating violent efforts to overthrow the government under the criminal anarchy law. So basically, they're saying that your freedom of speech can be, your First Amendment right can be limited if it's like to, I guess, like overthrow the government or to like plan something that can cause damage in the community or within the government.
Up a little bit so early. Sorry.
You didn't leave in a little early. You left as soon as I closed the rooms.
Trying to speak and the little button popped up.
Awesome. Welcome back. Thank you guys so much for engaging in those breakout rooms. Every time I walked in, entered digitally, walked in digitally, whatever. Every time I entered one of your guys' breakout rooms, you guys were super on task, really discussing the homework. I can tell that you guys were reading this and reading the homework and absolutely interrogating the material to make sure you guys were ready to go. So awesome job with that. So looking at today's main question. Has the Supreme Court's interpretation of the First Amendment done more to protect civil liberties or maintain social order? In the Zoom chat, you have to pick one. I know how bad you guys want to say it's both. Nope, we got to pick one. So in the Zoom chat, tell me, what has the Supreme Court done more for protecting individual rights or social order? Go ahead and chat me. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Isis. 2 for social order. Ariana, Madison, Lauren, all for social order. Naziah, Yamani. Oh my gosh, we are universally for social order. Janiqua picked individual rights. I assume that's why she's not chatting it. Still waiting on a few people. Go ahead and make your decision. Social order or individual liberties. There is no correct answer. It's one of those. This is the best part about history. Okay, guys, let's leave the cat talk out of the chat. Okay, just waiting on a couple more to share their initial decision, social order or individual liberties. I will turn off the chat, which is something I only have to do when I'm in a 9th grade room. So, thank you. Well, it looks like most of us are arguing for social order. Let's go ahead. Oh my gosh, mostly social order, yes. Let me go ahead and hear from you guys. Why are you guys universally for social order? Let me hear from Adarius, and then Manny, and then Aaron. Why did you pick social order? Adarius, is your mic working? I know you've been having some tech issues. Okay, we'll come back to Adarius so I can make sure his technology is working. Let me hear from Manny and then Aaron.
So I think it's social order because, I mean, again, I'm on both sides here because why not? But like in most of the cases, it's always been like, oh, well, this person's talking about drugs. I think the best way to shield people from thinking it's okay to take a hit from a bong is just by saying that they can't do that. And then, like, overall, I just feel like it's just they do things specifically so that, like, I don't know, like, it doesn't affect them in a negative way. Like, it doesn't affect the overall government in a negative way. But also at the same time, there are instances where, like, for example, the weird cake situation, like, they're like, oh, well, this person's religion, they did state something about how it has to be neutral with his, like, religion and the situation as well. So, like, it's not like they're all bad. It's just that, like, most of the time it's mostly just they choose the overall society rather than like someone's, like, one person's rights, which is not bad in some aspects, but it's also very bad in others. It depends on the situation. I think it's just subjective, is what I'm trying to say.
Awesome. Adarius, go ahead and jump in. Why did you pick social order? Hey, Adarius, I'm so sorry. It's showing that you're unmuted, but there's no sound. So if Adarius, if you want to chat me your response, I can read it out loud to everybody. Aaron, go ahead and jump in.
I definitely said it was more social order because within all the documents, it was definitely giving more social, like, attention towards that. People were like, for example, one of the documents were about somebody selling adult materials or whatever, but it didn't state in the Constitution that the First Amendment protected that kind of situation. So it kind of for all, like, the documents, like I said, it was giving a pass for discriminating the rights amongst the people, so it will be more protected against social era as well.
Awesome. Who has a piece of evidence to build on what Aaron and Manny said? Who has a specific piece of evidence that supports what you guys have been hearing? I can take a hand. Naziah, go for it. And then Erica, and then Lauren.
I have a specific piece of evidence from the exact document that Aaron was talking about, specifically where after the question, it says the basic guidelines for the tier of facts must be a whether the average person applying contemporary community standards would find that the work taken as a whole appeals to the parent interest. So the sexual content within these pamphlets were supposed to be for, like, a certain age range. So they wanted to make sure that in order to keep that age range from getting them, that it has to be applied to them, that they can't just be mailing it out to anyone's house.
I agree. And additionally, on top of that, with the whole marijuana case, they cared more about the public opinion and their health, I guess, than the guy's freedom to say whatever he wants. So because the pro-drug message undermined the school's important mission to discourage drug use, they ruled that it wasn't protected by freedom of speech.
Okay, we're gonna come back to Lauren probably later. Madison, go ahead.
I was gonna say my evidence, like, it's in the case, but I don't really want to talk about it. Anyway, I'll just say in document 3, all the way at the bottom, it says, in ruling for Morse, the court affirmed, blah, 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 and that the highly protective standards set by Tinker would not always be applied. And basically in Tinker, like they voted for the people's, like the freedom of speech, but basically in this document, it's saying the government is not always going to be in favor of the people and their like freedom of speech, that it will be limited to, I think, to maintain order. And so Tinker, I don't know, that was one, like a very, I don't know how to say, a very occasion. It's not going to happen often, which is why I think it's more social order.
Awesome. Go ahead and jump in, Nyasha.
I voted social order as well, but I also think it's like a matter of which cases do you think weigh more heavily on the people? Like, do you feel like the Tinker case and what's the other case in the Colorado civil rights, that case, if those weigh more heavily on the people than all the other ones? I think it's a matter of like priority. But I also noticed that most of the cases for social order, it was something that mainly impacted like the government, like whether the people, how the people will feel about the government because of the, what is the case, the Gitlow v. New York, like plans to overthrow the government. That's when they voted in favor of social order. And then the same thing with the Schneck v. United States, because of the like going against like the Vietnam War, it could cause people to like hate the government. So any matter that like was in threatening of the national government, that's when they voted more in favor of like social order rather than individual freedoms.
Awesome. I think Nyasha just made a really great distinction between social order and individual liberties and the way that the government chooses to rule on these cases. Ariana, would you mind revoicing what you just heard Nyasha say in terms of that distinction?
I feel like what she's trying to say is like during like the government chooses social, they like grant like social or individual things when it like affects the government type of thing. So not like for, let's see, like document 4, the one talking about the religious and the same-sex marriage. We feel like that would be more like probably like an individual because it's like people's personal opinions. But while the other one about the overthrowing the government, that's something that they want to get strict on because it's affecting the government.
Awesome. That's just a really good distinction that I think is important that we have. Let's take 1 minute. Almost all of us chose social order. Take 1 minute, find a piece of evidence that supports individual rights. So again, take 1 minute, find a piece of evidence for individual rights, and be prepared for me to call on you. Okay. 30 more seconds to identify that evidence. Who just left? Great, let's go ahead and get started. Lauren, can you please share one piece of evidence? And can you build on whatever Lauren says, Janaya? So I want to hear a piece of evidence that supports individual liberties from Lauren and Janaya.
Okay, you good now? Okay, in the Get Low case, it says 7-2 for New York. In an opinion authored by Justice Edward Sanford, the court concluded that the New York could prohibit advocating violent efforts to overthrow the government under the criminal anarchy law. And I think that goes for civil liberties because it kind of poses a threat to the government or the United States in general. and by organizing violent efforts to overthrow the government, it kind of goes against what proper exercise of the First Amendment would be.
Awesome. Can you build on that, Janaya?
It was kind of hard to hear, but I agree with so we're supporting the opposite side, right? That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, what's a piece of evidence that supports that the Supreme Court cares more about individual liberties than social order?
So in document 1, they wanted freedom of speech for teachers and students, and they only seen the problem if they didn't have a reason for like for their speech, and the states believe that if they only had a real reason for their actions, they should have their freedom of speech. So it was towards for individual speech.
Awesome. How could document how does document 6 fit into this? Where does document 6 lie? I don't think I've heard. Just muted myself. Of course I just muted myself. Isis, go for it.
I thought we said it would go under the social order because they're talking about how your free speech can be limited if it's like they said, like to overthrow the government or something that can cause people to like plan destruction.
And what do we call that clause? Isis, do you remember?
Is it the clear and present danger clause?
Yes, clear and present danger clause. If you do not have that written down in your chart, make sure you have that clear and present danger clause. Awesome. What do you guys think? We have been debating on social order versus individual rights for the last, what feels like month. What is more important, individual rights or social order? Now that we've seen all of these different cases, and because I'm mean, I want to know if you had to choose based off of this evidence, not just what does the Supreme Court prefer, what do you think is more important? Erica, I will call on you first, but I want to see everybody chat into the chat. What do you value more? Individual liberty or social order? Awesome. Erica, go ahead and jump in.
I chose social order because I just feel like that's the way our democracy works. You know, we sacrifice certain liberties in order for everything to be kept together. It is not a perfect system at all. But I mean, like, what's the point of having freedoms if there's chaos all around you? Like, imagine people like there being no effective change in like mask wearing right now and stuff like that. I feel like right now is a really good example of us just having to make these sacrifices for a better purpose.
Awesome. You are getting a lot of snaps in here from Miss Catlett and Janiqua in the room. Madison, if you wouldn't mind sharing, you chose individual liberty. Would you mind sharing why? Again, there is no right answer. I would like to hear your guys' perspectives.
Well, sorry. I I don't know. I actually like really like Erica's argument. She kind of convinced me, but like I don't know. I think I'm always gonna go with people's right. I think that while the government, they don't even have a good way of maintaining social order. But I think that at the end of the day, we as people should be able to express ourselves and do as we please, even if it's harmful. It's our choice, our freedom.
You're also getting snaps from within this room. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for engaging. I think I heard basically everybody's voice today, which is an amazing job, especially in a class this size. For all of you guys to be engaging actively, and when I cold call on you, you guys really are setting the bar for upperclassmen discourse. So just really great job today. I also know that you had a lot of discourse in English, so just thank you for bringing that stuff into here. We are going, please stop. Getting distracted. Thank you guys so much for all of that work. I am going to be grading today's exit ticket, and it is going to be an extended exit ticket as you guys do a SCOTUS comparison FRQ. So you're going to have the next 12 minutes to complete that exit ticket. Use all of the time that you can to get it done. We're going to get started on that now. Once you submit your classwork and your exit ticket, you will be free to go. Make sure that all of your responses are full sentences. Imagine that this is the AP exam and this is your FRQ that is determining if you get college credit for this class. Go ahead and get started. Chat me if you have any questions. And if you unsubmitted your homework to be able to fill out the chart, make sure you resubmit it so that way I can grade it.
Oh my God. Sorry.
For part A, just for a clarification, it's just an amendment. The key thing is amendment or clause. This one, it's just an amendment. 7 more minutes to complete the exit ticket. Make sure you chat me if you have any questions. You guys should take about another 4 minutes to follow up with your pacing. Ariana, you are free to go. I just got both of your things. Isis, you are also free to go. Three more minutes. Again, this is just working on our College Board pacing. Erin and Erica, once you guys submit your classwork packets, you will be free to go. Awesome, Erica, I have yours. You're free to go. Janaya, once you submit your class packet, you're free to go. Nazaya, same thing. Once I get that class packet, you're good to go. Zero, you're free to go. Nozaya, I got your stuff. You're free to go. Emmanuel, you're free to go. Anthony, once you submit your class packet, you're free to go. Janaya, you're free to go. Nyasia, once I get that class packet, you're free to go. Everybody that's still on the call, try to finish up in 1 minute to follow up with your College Board pacing. 1 more minute. Great, Nyasia, I got yours. You're free to go. Kezia, you're free to go. I got both of your things. Anthony, once you submit your class packet, you're free to go. Oh, I got yours, Anthony. You're good to go. Kamisha, Adarius, I'll go ahead and give you guys 2 more minutes to finish up your exit ticket. Just know that this is about when you would want to finish during the College Board exam. So we'll continue to practice that pacing. Kamisha, Adarius, 1 more minute, and then we'll get that stuff submitted. I looked at your supplement. Are you in it already? Are you taking a break? No, I have to pull it up. No, I have to pull it on up. Okay, Kamisha, Adarius, go ahead and submit both your classwork packet and your exit ticket. It's okay if you didn't finish. We just want to make sure it got turned in. Okay, guys, I need to head to another class, but if you guys can please email me or text me if you have any questions. Try to get that submitted in the next 2 minutes. Even if it's not done, it's better to get partial credit than nothing at all. And that gives us a place to figure out where we're going to improve and how we're going to build on what we've already done. So submit whatever you have. And I will see you guys tomorrow for a lecture. Bye, guys. Text or email me if you have questions.